Previously on the server part, we talked about Nitro. Because when we launch our application on Nuxt 3, if we look at the terminal, we can read that Nuxt is running on Nitro. What is Nitro? Well, actually, Nitro, it's a server engine. And actually, on the official documentation, we've got some information about Nitro. Nuxt 3 is powered by a new server engine, Nitro. It is cross-platform support for Node.js, browser, service worker, and more. Because before, Nuxt was running on Node.js, now it took Nitro, this new engine, that helped us to make Nuxt 3 running. Serverless support out of the box, API root support that we saw already on the server part, automatic code splitting, async loaded chunks, hybrid mode for static plus serverless side, and we will see that this hybrid mode is the brand new feature of Nuxt 3. Development server with auth module reloading. There's also a website for Nitro on nitro.ngs.io, and if we click on Get Started, suddenly we see that on the documentation, we recognize what we've got on our server part on Nuxt 3. We see that we have this method called define event handler. And we see that we can create actually a backend, a server with Nitro. So why Nuxt 3 decided to use Nitro? For many reasons, and one of these reasons is that we can use the cache API to cache elements. Okay, so the thing is that Nuxt.js is really known for its SEO performance and its server-side rendering mode. We are going to see later the modes. However, now let's talk a little bit at how we can cache element with Nuxt 3. Basically, what's going to happen when we use SSR is that every time we are requesting a server, the server is going to build the application and deliver it to the client. The difference with the SPA mode is that on the SPA mode, everything is done on the client side. With the SSR mode and the hybrid mode that we are going to see later, we can cache elements, which means that instead of every time there is a request, our Nuxt application has to be built, we cache the element every 5 minutes, for instance, and every 5 minutes somebody is going to come, it's going to build a cache version, and during these 5 minutes, it's going to deliver the content to the next call. Also, Nitro provides to us a built-in storage layer that can abstract our file system or database to any data source. And that can be very useful, especially if you are doing some Redis. We can store actually some elements when we need them. Then, of course, it is backend, so we can use the router handling from Nitro that help us to create some routes and some endpoints to provide some operation. And which is really funny, and at this point of the course, you already saw a lot of auto imports with Nuxt.js. We have also auto import with Nitro. What I like especially about Nitro also is that there is a deployment documentation that helps you to deploy, for instance on Netlify, that helps you to deploy Nitro if you want to use it also separately from Nuxt.js. So it was necessary for me to talk about Nitro, to have a quick presentation of it, because this course is not about Nitro, it's about Nuxt. But if you want to do some backend on the Nuxt side, you might want to focus on Nitro, and especially to go, for instance, on the official repository, which is on NGS organization. NGS, it's actually basically what the organization that created Nitro, but not also Nitro, some other methods that are used inside Nuxt.js 3.